My name is Leah Glossip, and I'm Richard's wife. And first and foremost, both Richard and I want to thank everybody who is here today. But the biggest takeaway we all want you to get is that this is far from over. And we need you all to continue staying engaged, writing your state legislators, and doing absolutely everything we are all empowered to do right now.
I'm really interested in what you're going through at this point and what you and Richard talk about when you know this may be the last time you ever get to be with him alone.
Saturday morning was the first time we woke up in almost 11 months without an execution date hanging overhead. But for us in recent weeks, we had some truly dark moments and extremely disheartening moments. And Friday was due to be our last contact visit before Richard was to be moved to Death Watch. So that would be our last hug, our last kiss, our last time being able to touch each other. And by the end of the day, when we were facing having to say what was going to be our last goodbye, and it was getting to be very emotional and very, very difficult for us, the warden came in and pulled us out to the hallway and told us the U.S. Supreme Court had issued a stay. And we just crumbled together in that moment. And it truly felt like an answered prayer for us.
When you really contemplate the fact that a man has confessed to this killing, what do you say to yourself to keep you from getting so angry and so bitter?
I think for us both, it's if we focus on what could be, what may be lying ahead, it will eat us both alive, to be quite honest. And we have focused very hard to stay in the moment together, on the love we have for each other and our shared faith together.
Can you envision him walking out of that prison and into your life where the two of you can actually go home?
Absolutely. It's something that we can both envision, and there's still a lot of work to be done to get there. I can tell you as a wife, watching your husband shackled up in chains with the chains cutting into his wrists while we fill out our funeral arrangements and what his last meals will be repeatedly again and again as we have in the last 11 months. It's just gut-wrenching to do that with the one you love.
What do you want to say to these people that got up from their homes today, got out into the traffic, drove here, and came to stand up for Richard?
Both Richard and I are extraordinarily grateful for everybody who has stood up in this effort, whether it is the courageous state legislators, the Attorney General, the extremely dedicated legal team, Dr. Phil here, Sister Helen, our church, and all of you gives us so much hope and encouragement, and we truly do need all of you, especially as Oklahomans right now, to stand with us and make sure that we get to the end of this where we ultimately hope to be. It's going to take everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything.
You bet. Look, there are few times in our lives that we really have the opportunity to actually do something that directly impacts whether somebody lives or dies. There are two things that you can do. One is, as has been said already, contact everyone in the state of Oklahoma or federally, particularly your own senator or representative. Making a phone call, sending an email to their office, they multiply that over and over when they get one. They say, well, if I got one of these, that represents a whole lot more. You know, one of the things that I was concerned about when the Supreme Court stepped in is that the public perception would be, well, whew, that's over with. No, that's not over with. That just stopped the immediate threat, but he doesn't even have a new trial yet. The difference between winners and losers is winners do things losers don't want to do. And if we want to be winners, we have to do what it takes to win this thing. There's no justice until he goes home. All right, you got that? Let's send Richard Glossip home. Thank you. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.